Yeaaight, yeah. Alright.
Hello, welcome, REL Division 4D to the Lion and Bear Report. I'm Spaceline,
I'm Kodiak.
and yeah, welcome to your. Ah, god damn it. Well, maybe that's the one mistake for the week.
Yeah.
I even made the edit and just forgot to load it.
Hopefully, like the sheets for the actual games are correct.
Yeah.
And I might insist we not do wrong.
Yeah. I definitely need a technical difficulties slide where I just, excuse me, shuffling papers in the background. But yes, this is week 12, not to be confused with week 11. Though some of the results were very much the same, seemingly. But yeah, before we dip into our division, how was your week 11, quote unquote?
It was good. Pretty sure I played some Dark Elves. I did, yes. I played Dark Elves. I won 2-0. I got SPP in good places. I finally got block on my... I had a rookie Nurgle Warrior, and I got him a touchdown, which was really fun. That's because he was at 4, now he's at 7. That's really satisfying when you're doing well enough in a game as Nurgle, that you're like, I'm going to give it to the Nurgle Warrior. Yeah. I've got enough rerolls. I can reroll the handoff. So that was really nice. And yeah, so it's the season's closing out like pretty decently. I'm not going to like make it to playoffs or Challenger Cup or anything like that, but the team is looking good. That said, my last match of the season is against it's like a 2,300 some TV Chaos Kill team. I'm like a 2,000 something team. So like I have a pretty good team, but it's not as good as his.
Yeah.
So I'm getting like 200 inducements. It's gonna be 2 bribes. I'm just gonna try to survive. So the one thing going for me is that Louis Jenna, who's in my division, who's another Nurgle coach, does a lot of like research on his opponents and claims that the guy's like really afraid of losing his team if he's like against the kill team. So you have to like go super aggressive.
Yeah.
And like come after him and he'll start running away. And like he won't base up, he'll only do his like 1 blitz a turn, sort of like that style of play. So I just need to like get that to happen.
Yeah. That is an intensive amount of research.
Yeah, because he didn't actually end up playing him. He was supposed to play him this week, and it was, and the guy was on vacation, and he didn't have to play him. That had been my dream, right? That Louis Jenna's Nurgle would beat him up.
Yeah,
but not today.
So yeah, I mean, maybe to be expected from last year's Super Bowl runner-up, but still, that's impressive.
Yeah, he watches a lot of games.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you're not tempted at all to get like a second app? Oh, you don't get appos.
I'm Nurgle. I would have to get like an Igor, and Igors are terrible and don't always work.
Yeah, that's
what I heard. It would basically be like blood. It'd be I could do a bribe and a couple babes, on the theory that if I take a bunch of KOs, I could get them to come back.
Yeah, that's not as.
But I don't think that's not. Yeah, I don't think that's as exciting. And I have like 14 players. Right, I have 2 dirty player piece rotters. I should lead into the fouling.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about Chaos is like I put rotters on the line. Chaos, they got to put Beastmen on the line.
Yeah.
Beastmen actually a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'll with 2 bribes and 2 dirty player rotters, I'll foul like a line of scrimmage Beastman.
Yeah.
That's on the ground on stun.
Yeah. Well, and especially having some inside information about how a coach plays makes that decision so much easier.
Yeah.
So.
But it's a scary team. It's like more claw than me, more bloody blow than me, more guard than me.
Yeah.
Just beautiful team. Just beautiful team. But apparently he's a little gun shy in terms of really committing to the bash.
Yeah. Which, gets into a whole like thing that I'm sure has been like a talking point on the REBBL podcast at some point. But like, you can build your team up beautifully, but then like, what are you gonna do with it then? Like, are you just going to try to keep it beautiful, or are you actually going to try to win some games? Because you can't.
And at this point in the season, it makes sense. He's like the second from the bottom, third from the bottom team.
Okay.
And so it's like he's going to 3 probably.
Yeah.
So it's just like ride that out.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it's like I'm actually might stay 2. Like I'm currently at 5-2-5 is my record. Okay. So what happens here determines do I have a winning season, tying season, or losing season. So I don't know if that matters, but like to a certain extent, like it would be cool to come out of it with at least a winning season and a team that was alive and playable.
Yeah, those are some good goals. Good goals for your last week. So yeah, we'll we'll have to hear how that goes in our year-end party cap.
Yeah. Yes, we'll know next week. Am I re-rolling or not? And yes, speaking of, we've been able to gain some replies back already, and that's wonderful. Keep them coming. Though if you wait till after you play your last match, we understand.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And hopefully, there it is. Yeah, we've gotten like 6 replies, including my own, but to the survey so far, the exit interview, which is great. Had a good time looking over those. I think I realized we actually haven't talked up enough player names, because I think people were most flummoxed by the MVP question of the league, and I think some people were like, well, I don't know about other players, but my MVP is fill in the blank.
Just still interesting information.
Yeah, absolutely. We have at least 1 vote for a star player, so that's good. But yeah, all will be revealed in the year-end thing here. We'll do just what we're thinking. I don't know what I'm thinking for this is we'll kind of walk through the last matches. Whoever's on the cast, we'll look to have them kind of talk about the last match, whatever they like. And then kind of get into final results, answers to the exit interview. So if it's a big MVP vote, let's say, I'll have the results posted. We can kind of talk about those. If it's more about like, what are you doing with your team next season, or things of that nature, we'll probably just do around the table, have people talk about their answers a little bit. Yeah. And
that'll basically take the place of we'll have the normal review. We'll get coaches involved in that, but it'll look a lot like the reviews have been, just with more, involvement of the people on the chat. And then the preview section, because obviously there's not going to be a preview. We can, we'll dig into all that stuff that you're talking about, the survey and our questions to people.
Yeah, and I guess Tim pointing out the thing that we know, but I always just leave my blinders on for, and that is like, not everybody's watching all these games like we are, and not everybody's watching all the parts of this stream like we are.
Yeah, that's true.
Or living them, I should say.
I've watched, probably half of the games every team's played this season, right? So it's a lot of matches.
Yeah, and we mention the players as they come up for their teams, but if you're just watching your match and watching the preview for your match, you're not catching us talk about consistently like another player, because you're only playing each team once.
Yeah, and to be clear about that, no offense if that's what you're doing, that's what I do with the recap for my division.
Yep.
I don't watch all of that. I watch this part of this about me.
Yeah, totally. Not throwing any shade, just saying that's why I like that question for me. And so I might weight my own vote heavier. I don't know.
I might offer an opinion. How about that?
Yeah.
I'm not technically doing the survey.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But the MVP vote might be just a little shy of being a full MVP vote like you see in, I don't know, like the NBA. So, but scheduled for the 14th, so we're a week away. Be 8:30 Eastern time. Hoping to get it late enough for folks on Pacific time to join us. We should be pretty clear of any daylight savings time shenanigans, and it'll be a good time. So.
Oh, I guess one correction I'll make to the preview section is because I believe the playoff games will be known by then, right?
Oh, yeah.
If the game has not been played yet, I will do a preview sheet for the playoff matches.
Ooh, yeah.
And Challenger Cup, of course.
Oh.
However many we get of those, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah. That's a good carrot dangling on the stick there, because that's basically saying like, hey, hold off until after the party cap to schedule your match, please.
Yeah.
because we'd love to talk to you before you hop into that.
Yeah.
Sure, as much as the division's been hard fought, like once it gets down to actual playoffs, everything's been decided. I think we'll all be excited to cheer on our representative from the div in either or.
That definitely seems to be a word. That's where it worked for me last season was people I was like fighting against all season, but at the end, if you come out on top, it's like they're the ones rooting for you the hardest. Like in the streams when the match is being played and giving you advice beforehand, like keep an eye out for this.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, imagine, and it I don't know. Yeah, it's like a goofy sense of pride when you're the coach representing your division makes it pretty far down the line.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, let's hop into the week. Lot to talk about, and I want to say the playoff picture is becoming clearer, and it is. Well, the playoff picture is.
One portion has become incredibly clear.
Yes.
Another part is as vague as ever.
Yeah, if not vaguer in some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's hop into it. Yeah, starting off with
Match of the week.
Unfortunate bit of news. This one was a lot of no communication came out about this until the very end, and what it was nothing. Game's not getting played. We're just gonna have it adminned. No word. We haven't heard anything from Callista, Maya or anything as far as if these coaches are sticking it out for the last week. It's a question that we have, certainly, as I think Silkwood City Slickers are scheduled to play Flyboys, who are still in the mix.
Yeah. Whether or not that match happens is very meaningful. Cross of the Empire, a little less so.
Yeah. And Tim bringing up, yes, the point I wanted to make, as I was like, you kind of get a sense when you don't see any chatter about a match, and then it's like Tuesday that it's not going to get played. And I was, I was thinking that the same thing. It's just like, I can't blame either of these coaches for not wanting to play. And as much as David's saying targeted MVPs, I'm pretty sure this team is not coming back.
Yeah, that's true. I should not have listed the journeymen since they were not potential MVP targets. It's only
That's true.
rostered players.
That's true, yeah. But you probably already,
I had made that. I'm like, I'm not going
to take them out. Delete, yeah. So, it was unfortunate. We've done really well this year with, any sort of buys, as in there hasn't been any, except for the very first week, where we had a buy from a team that didn't end up joining the division, and OP Cubby, who, was running late. So, this is our second admin result for the season. Overall pretty good. And I think both these teams have had it, pretty rough. And, can't, in some ways surprised they made it this far, just given how bad the results have been.
Yeah, just they're both fine coaches, so hopefully they stay on the side of not being like getting into problems with REBBL.
Yep. Yeah.
If they manage that, then I can't blame them.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But I don't know if there's much more to talk about.
Yeah. No, I'm ready. Yeah. Let's get into it. Skaven Rat Rodents versus the Rats and Nim. Oh my god.
Speaking of teams we're sympathetic to.
Oh my god. Yeah. We talked about this and we said either a draw or Rats and Nim win, but they're gonna take some punishment. Nope. Skaven Rat Road said no. We're giving punishment and we're taking the win. Thank you. Game is easy. Just break armor value 7. You're the only one to do it in this entire division. This was so bad. I got some notes for this. And so the Skaven Rat Rodents, the Khemri, elect to receive. And this I noted was certainly something they want to pound rats into the ground. But I did think this played into what the Skaven probably wanted, the Rats and Nim probably wanted, because they would have their one turner on the bench, score in turn 8 or whatever, and then score in turn 9, and then put their one turner back on the bench, or at least have their 2 touchdowns, right? This ended up being a great call, as you can see. And yeah, the Khemri actually got a touchback and gave the ball to a Tomb Guardian. So yeah, already it was going to be, just pretty tough for the Rats to do anything. But yeah, carrying around on a strength 5 player doesn't make it easier. But yeah, turn 1 starts out beautifully. They get a Kaz and a KO. Ultra Craig Greed rolls, and Greed piles on Jeremy the Gutter Runner to get a badly hurt and gets his level. So right off the bat, checks the box for goals for the match. And then it was just on from there. The Roger actually starts to does do some work, it manages to bust into the cage, and the Skaven actually knock down and foul a Tomb Guardian too, but nothing happens. That's kind of the story for the Skaven a bit at the start here, is that they try to like fight dirty back, but it just, the avalanche of Khemri punches. And so that said, on turn 2, the Roger gets knocked over and fouled, and no damage on that foul. Turn 3, they try it again and don't get anything. Skaven start cage diving at this point. They're doing 3 red die cage dives because kind of hard to avoid that against a strength 5 player. And at the end of their turn 3, Cynthia Brisby takes a broken jaw. They failed a 1-die block, and gets smacked back for their trouble. So that's how that removal happened. And then the Khemri are just pushing up. They want to try to score. Justin and Nicodemus team up to make a 2 red die blitz, wrestle down on Bartholomew, who's the ball carrying Tomb Guardian, which makes sense. That would have gotten them, I think, like 1 Kaz away from level. But the ball scatters down. The Bartholomew was actually 1 square away, or just outside of the sideline, and the ball actually scattered off Nicodemus, who had just wrestled him down, and out of bounds. But it landed in the end zone the Khemri were going towards, which was a pretty fortunate bounce. A lot of bounces would have been good at that point because there's not too many Rats left. The Rats try to go recover it, but they fail the dodge. So then on turn 5, the Khemri set up their throw rod nearby. They're punching and fouling. Skaven get Nicodemus near the ball, but it's not enough. The Khemri actually on turn 6. On turn 6 they punch, and then they punch a bunch of Skaven, and then they score. Which I was kind of expecting them to stall it out a little bit more, but they didn't. So it's 8 Skaven versus 8 Khemri, or 11 Khemri, sorry. Khemri's taken no damage, as you can see. And the Skaven actually set up for 1 turn. But they actually snaked their GFI to get in better throwing range with their thrower. This ended up being costly because the Khemri badly hurt Martin Brisby on their turn 7. The Apple comes out to bring Brisby back into the game, and I think the Khemri recover the ball at this point. Not that they're really going to be able to do much with it, but the Roger comes back and blitzes the recovery piece, which was the throw raw Noodle, and actually kills Noodle, but regen saves him. And the rats can't get the ball. Turn 8, Justin gets surfed because he had tried to pick it up on the sideline, I think. Yeah. And then there's another line rat that gets killed. So at halftime, it's 7-11. Martin Brisby comes back on, and the so I had marked down like turn 7 was kind of the turn of the game to have like, set up for a 1 turn and then have it go wrong and then get Martin Brisby and the Apo out of the way. Turn 9, I just marked red because there was so much that happened. Skaven set up for the 1 turn again, except with a slight twist, and I wasn't sure where they were going with this, but they really wanted to hurt a Tomb Guardian with Fitzgibbons, the Rat Ogre. Well, they start out doing that, and
it's a noble goal, I guess.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, Fitzgibbons rolls a 1 and 9 on Ratrick, and that's how Ratrick got his fractured skull, and that's how Fitzgibbons got a smashed hand. And so, pretty wild turn. Obviously wanting to hurt Ratrick, obviously did, but then it's pretty obvious who the target was going to be on next for the Khemri. Ultra Craig gets in on Martin and piles on, and that's where the casualty, the movement bus comes in. Ultra Craig just doing God's work, really, in this case. So then, it's pretty much downhill from there for the Skaven. Though they were able to manage to score here, and this was I was trying to figure out how it was going to happen because they only had on turn 10 they only had 2 rats that weren't based. They had, I think, 1 gutter runner, Nicodemus, and that was it. And they got the ball over to him, who books it. Khemri can't blitz the ball carrier, but they do sandwich it. And then Nicodemus just I got nothing else to do. I'm just going to run for it and manage to score. So they do, and it's turn 11, but they have 4 rats left on the pitch versus all the Khemri except for Ratrick. And so, it's just a rout at that point. There was actually a riot on this kickoff event that added a turn. Because Nuffle's please, I want to see more. And the Skaven, I think, were pitch cleared by turn 13. Turn 12, actually. Yeah. And so, they, a lot of end turn to turn 16, and the Khemri score to get the win. But that riot was pretty good. But it was a pretty eventful match. Obviously I'm unfortunate for Martin Brisby. I don't know I don't think you can keep him. And I think that's probably just
that's the team.
That's the team, yeah.
Yeah, Martin Brisby, the storm vermins are the ones that are actually hard to level, and in well-developed storm vermins are this is a mature Skaven team, and there's one guy with guard and AV bust. Yeah. And then but you might dream of keeping it because okay, Martin Brisby's really cool, but no, he's move busted. This is over.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can gain by keeping it. I think if you want to play Skaven again,
just reroll, man. They develop so fast.
Yeah. And
the things that don't develop fast, like I was saying, are the storm vermin, and they haven't developed. The gutter runners are not the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
And that's a nice thing about Skaven is that if they do go bust, you can get them back on their feet in a season or 2.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's not the sort of absurd commitment that orcs and Nurgle and Chaos can be.
Right. Yeah. So, Pip Up asking about Ratrick. That's a tough one. I don't know.
I keep him.
Yeah.
I have an armor busted Nurgle Warrior, and it's like, it sucks, man. But if he's got like 2 skills, I feel like you'll wait till he takes like a niggle or another armor bust or something, or like something else bad before you fire him. It's just he's really valuable right now.
Yeah. I agree. I think
Tim Nielsen also pointed out that the Stormvermin are actually easier to develop on a fresh team because like your opposition is less good, so you can just like feed them touchdowns because it's like, well, they're still move 7, they're still great in that sense, and you try to get them leveled really, really fast to get at least like say Mighty Blow on them, so they can start to like then self-develop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, keep that guy. Frenzy on Ultra Craig is fun. It makes a really aggressive piece.
Yeah. It
says to me you want to start building Rathrun up whenever you get the chance, because you would like a second like blitzer that isn't tied to Frenzy. Mm-hmm. But I like Frenzy. I like Frenzy with Pilot On, since Pilot On only works when you follow up and Frenzy forces you to follow. I think there's a nice synergy there, so it'll be fun. And one nice thing about Tomb Guardians is you got a lot of support pieces around, so setting up those 2 dice, you can make that happen a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I agree, and I definitely agree. Frenzy's a very fun choice. And I think Ratrick, I think you play it out and let him die a good death. Because that's what happens. I mean, Tomb Guardians just die anyway. They don't have to have their armor bust. Decay is bad enough.
Yeah.
So I think riding it out is fine, unless you're in a spot next season where everybody else looks good and you want to just try to level one.
It's like, I got my block Mighty Blow Nurgle Warrior. He's got his armor bust. He'll die sooner than the rest. People target him all the time, and it sucks. But he also does useful work, right?
Right.
He makes hits. He's got block to make hits. He's got Mighty Blow. He gets removals. He like does work that like keeps things moving.
Yep. So very, very fun. Good. Yeah. Good development for Ultra Craig. And unfortunate for Ratrick, that's not fun. But a fun win for the Khemri, a rough result for the Skaven. Probably, just wanted to see if they could finally. I mean, they did level another Stormvermin, but they're going to be out.
Yeah,
and it's just I think the dream is over for the Ratsonen.
Yep, but it was a fun season.
It was.
Fitzgibbons was really cool. It was really neat to see the Rat Ogre like tear shit up. He did a lot in a number of games.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was a force. You always thought, oh, I'm just gonna like move this thing out of the way and then it's gonna be stuck dumb somewhere. But it caused a lot of havoc. And Martin Brisby's I think got at least one MVP vote. And because it truly was pretty much this team. So let's move on to match number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Flyboys winning over Peak Altitude 1-0. A lot closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah, this was an exciting one. It was a very elfy match.
Mm-hmm.
So just to go into this, I'll note that Roger Locker 3 is 3.0 is new to this match. There was a 2.0, but he had a dirty player, but he took a niggle last game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Upto's just like, nope, not going to accept with that. 3.0 comes out. And there was some other like recent levels. Yeah, Chattanooga's guard was new, and Matterhorn's block was new, but that's less exciting. Anyways, okay, so the Flyboys chose to receive. It was actually a very shallow kick, such that it was going to land on the line of scrimmage on like one of the wings, the right wing, if I'm recalling. And then Dark Cannon gets a perfect defense. So it's like immediately opens up to like this could be kind of interesting. The ball actually ends up bouncing sideways to stay. So he does move some players over there. Ball hits on the LOS. It bounces sideways, stays on the LOS. So it lands in the wing right in front of a journeyman elf lineman, which has the advantage that it like draws the blitz. So like just that by itself, that a journeyman got the blitz is a kind of a win.
Right.
It also meant that like by virtue of like making that blitz there and then having to go there to get the ball and then pull back into a cage, the elves were in this really nice screen right in front of it. That didn't matter anymore. That like, oh, they put a tackle zone on the ball or whatever. It was they set up their defense such that when the cage ended up on the right side of the field, they were set up in front of it. This, and just to like as a spoiler for what's going to happen, this results in the first half ending 0-0. That the human touchdown is not going to happen on their drive.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first couple of turns, the humans end up kind of bogged down on that right side of the field. They're facing like the strong elf coverage. There's the potential of a wizard, so they have to like screen and cage. Turn 3, they pull the ball back. They just give it to Chuck Yeager. Be like, go stand near the end zone, like the other, like our end zone. And they start setting out like feelers for possible receivers. But the elves knock that down, and the humans are like have trouble like pushing someone forward because air power goes bonehead both turns 3 and 4. That he'd been knocked down on the elves on turn 2, and then the humans like, nope, don't want to stand up. Nope, don't want to stand up.
Oh wow,
which had to be really frustrating because he's a beautiful ogre.
Yeah.
So yeah, because the humans had been trying to push him aggressively, and like Chuck Yeager, well, he's so fast, we can just leave him really deep. He was kind of isolated. So actually, the elves on the end of turn 4 bolt him.
Whoa!
Which you don't see a lot of.
Yeah.
And it works out sort of because he gets stunned off of it at least, which means he's not available to go pick it up.
Yeah.
And the ball bounces backwards, so it's even farther from where all the humans had gone to. So yeah, that gives the humans a turn to try to get to the ball, but because it was the end of turn, but there's only actually one human player that's even actually within range to go stand on it, also named Klepto, which is super frustrating in the notes. And he needs like 2 GFIs to get there, right? So it's a real stretch. So it's I don't normally like end of turn bolts, but that one was not that was one of the best ones I've seen.
Yeah. We've seen a few end of turn bolts this season. So, but that's interesting.
So yeah, Klepto Knight does free up Klepto, gets him on the ball. He tries to like screen off the high elf pieces that had been moved up to like next turn, go after it. But one of them's AG5. He just like runs through the screen. And the other one is like off for a little bit, and he can like loop around it. Blitzes Klepto, puts the ball on the ground again. And at this point, they make a sort of interesting choice that they have 2 pieces with tackle zones on the ball. They have the pleats that made the blitz take a GFI to go stand on the ball. That's 2+ checks, and it would be in the hands of Everest, who you can see is Blodge Step, right? Great piece to have it in the hands.
Yeah,
but the Fear had already been used to get the knockdown. And the GFI fails.
Yeah, where you could have had Blodge Step next to the ball.
Right, and forcing him to try to pick up in 2 tackle zones or 1 tackle zone because he could maybe blitz the back guy who was Kachanuga, right, who's just dodge.
Yeah.
But still, like, it because he goes on to it, he then scatters it into he's on the ground, and it's not in any tackle zones because of where the ball scatters to.
Oh,
no. Yeah, so the humans are basically able to recover a little bit. I don't even know if this was like the wrong decision. If like it had worked, it would have been really powerful. But it's just like
totally.
And like the humans were close enough, they could put like a scrum around the ball a little bit to would have made it hard to pick up.
Yeah.
It would have been, given what happened, it would have been better not to try it, but it was a risk. Anyways, Klepto stands up, he grabs the ball, short pass to Richard Ritchie 2.0, who's up the field, who then moves him to the elf half of the pitch. Like the humans are really trying to make a thing of this, but because of all the fact they had to like stretch around because of this, they can't quite cage up. Pinatubo goes running in, 1 die, knocks him down, gets the ball on the ground. Kilimanjaro is like, I got this, just like runs in, dodge, picks it up. And then while standing next to a human player, throws a long pass. He needed a 4+. He rolled a 1 the first time, but got the built-in reroll, got it. Passes a nice skill. Gets the ball to Everest. and who had retreated from the end zone a bit to make the pass just like a long pass, not a long bomb.
Okay.
But he's got no protection. Klepto's still in the area after having done all that stuff last turn.
Yeah.
So he comes in, gets him down. Now Chuck Yeager comes back in to get the ball, and he tries he's like, well, that worked out for you. Let's try it. I'll do a long pass. And it's the same 4+ required because he's not standing next to someone, but he doesn't have strong arm.
Right.
But no built-in reroll. Fails, ball hits the ground. And basically, the elves are able to get up to it. They don't score, but they can cage up near midfield enough with one score through up the field near the end zone and like one cage corner that's like a little bit close that the humans have to like just swarm to try to like stop them from scoring. The elf score is going to require some dice. They roll it one on a dodge, doesn't have a built-in reroll as part of their like multi-stage attempt to score on turn 8, and it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So 0-0.
Yeah.
One thing I'll note at this point, only removal so far was with a single KO on one of the High Elf Journeymen.
Wow.
And he comes back for the second half. He actually rolled a 4, so the Bloods of White Wizard Babes did nothing. Nice that they're there, though.
Yeah.
So the High Elves are in a good position, right? Like they're facing a team with with some like hitting pieces, and they have all their stuff.
Yeah.
They just need to score and get a tie.
Yep.
Obviously, that doesn't work, right? Instead, they're going to get turned.
Yeah.
So elves get the ball. They move a pack of receivers up the field on their right side, like so into the humans, while letting the thrower hold the ball deep for a couple of turns. Turn 11, ball moves to Vesuvius, who's like the new catcher that was just bought that he's looking to level up. He moves like a third of the way into the human half of the field on the left wing from the elf perspective. So it's like the receivers had moved into the right wing and were like standing there. He decides to just give it to Vesuvius, have him move into the left. Okay. And the humans have been drawn to the right by trying to cover this. Yeah. But basically, and this is actually something that got mentioned in chat. Like, I made a mistake. This is what I'm aware that it happened. I think this is what we're talking about, where he just did not track that the humans have agile pieces that are faster than you might expect in those move 7 blitzers.
Yeah.
And they're just able to get it.
Wow.
One gets over to the mark, one over gets to the blitz. It's just a couple easy dodges. So that new catcher's blitz, ball's knocked down, the catcher dies. Apo actually brings it back to the sidelines, but that's an Apo gone. Yeah. And Klepto scoops up the ball because Klepto's just going to be involved in every play in this game. So Elves try to respond by sending in K2. He's the one with tackle. It was sort of it's just a 1-die, and it was a skull that was rerolling into skull, and like that's obviously bad luck. That said, there with some like a 2+ dodge and like a 2+ G5, he could have had made it a 2-die. I probably would have. Yeah. 2 dies are a lot nicer, and it means got that mark there. Yeah. And that basically ends up being the match. The fact that like that blitz, the fact that he got blitzed down and then his blitz didn't work. Yeah. Humans move upfield. They cage away from the bulk of the elves. There's been a couple more KOs, as you see, like no real injury, but there is some, KO sustained on the elf side. So Vesuvius is obviously off the field because he just got resurrected and he's waiting for a change of play. Right. Descartes is able to blitz cage corners and such, but like the match feels over when you're seeing things like Journeyman making vanity blocks and when it's double skull roll granted to them.
Oh wow.
Right. Yeah. Like that's like, okay, this is we're not winning this one. The elves don't touch the ball from that point of the game on. They don't even mark the ball carrier in the last quarter. So the last quarter, just Klepto's holding the ball near the end zone. Half of his Klepto as in the coach. Yes. Near the end zone, while the other half spars with the elves. Ogre has decided to get back into the game. At this point, it's like, oh, we're winning, huh? Yeah. He decides he's going to play. K2 takes a KO off a skull from an uphill against a lineman. So it's like it was like a dangerous block, but like that still sucks. Yeah. I will say and so Klepto's able to get his touchdown pretty easily. I think there was maybe a slight missed opportunity in that. Basically he scores on Klepto, who was in fact carrying the ball. I would have tried but he's now currently 1 SPP away from a level. Yeah, try to pass and then get the ball back to him. Yeah. Given that he had an AG4 piece in the air, that Chuck Yeager was in the area to receive a pass, I probably would have done a pass to Chuck Yeager and then a handoff back. That's 2+, and it gets you a level. I wouldn't have done it turn 16, but I would have done it like turn 15.
Yeah, there was enough space between what was going on with the high elves, the rest of the high elves.
I believe so. I would have. That said, the one example would be the counter to that would be that the Fly Boys they're in serious challenger contention.
Yeah,
and he's going to be playing against the Silkwood City Slickers, who are struggling, we could say. So, and he needs to win that game to go forward. If he can get the vanity pass to that game, then he gets to pick. He doesn't really need the skill for that game, and if he can get the skill after that match, he gets to see who his opponent is in the Challenger Cup. So I think it's fine.
Yeah.
So it's just something like I would have done the pass, but I think tactically, as long as you can get it next match and win, assuming that match happens, which we'll talk about, that I think that's actually as good, if not better. It just means he's pushing it up to that one.
Yeah, I can see being like a little just like relieved to get a score after being stalled out in your first half, and then like, you know, just having to go like fight it out in the second.
I will admit, I did once tie instead of win a match against some Dark Elves because I attempted to score on the piece I wanted to score on, and 6 attempts to get it in his hand failed. Now, it wasn't a 2+, but it was still like, God, I should have just scored that one guy and won this match. It can happen, and it's frustrating. So I'm not. It's one of those was like, I hope he considered it, right, and that it was a decision that he made. But I think you can totally justify it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and as we'll see on the leaderboards, a big win. But yeah, that's scrappy high elves.
It easily could have gone the other way. I think there was just one mistake where he just didn't quite count out what coverage looked like, and tried to push a little bit too fast, and then his attempt, and like it went well for his opponent, and it did not go well when he attempted to recover.
Yeah. Seems to be the case at times. Cool. All right. Yeah, and no levels for either side. Good MVP for Flyboys, but yeah. Cool. All right. On to the next match. Arfar Elf versus All Bark No Bite. This is the match that we were all waiting for, given the naming conventions in this division.
Yeah.
It's like, which is which and what is what.
Yeah. So this will be the match where David Leclerc in chat tells me I'm misremembering his game. That's one of the best parts of every one of these guys. But yeah, I'll dig into this. So Necro chooses to receive. I honestly don't know what you do with hybrid teams in that situation. As a bash coach, I would always give the elves the ball. Yeah. But as a Necro, they're fast enough, they're agile enough that I don't think it's totally the same. And obviously it worked out fine. But things got a little excited at the start. The Ghoul fails to pick up on turn 1. So Elf turn 1 sees Walnut pick up the ball. Fortunately, Legless 2.0 is a star, and all he needs is a reroll on the second of the Frenzy 2 dice to get him down, because he was fishing for a POW. Gets him down, and they kind of cages up, and ends up with he kind of cages up, but it's not like a total cage. Oldie is actually attempts to mark the ball carrier, but there's a failed GFI with the reroll already gone. Then turn 3 on the Necro side, we see U-Take is badly hurt, and the Dirty Player lineup gets surfed. Basically, as a shuffle down from David Leclerc's attempts to take control of the ball. We see all this happen, but it means that there's these 2 quick removals. That one turn. So the next couple of turns, we see the elves not be able to get much done against Necro. Their block dice are kind of ineffective, and there's a turn lost to an early turn Snake-Eyed Dodge Necro's basically able to collect themselves down and start getting the ball up the field.
Yeah.
That basically, like, there was some chaos caused by like that failed pickup, but like this is kind of when it recovers. We get the Necro expulsions around here. Walnut takes a couple fouls, both of which get expulsions. The second one at least gets a KO instead of a stun.
Yeah.
So going into the second quarter, there's been 4 Ls removed.
Yeah.
One's the unharmed surfed guy, 2 KOs, and use Kaz. Necro's down 2 from expulsions. But it's like the Wood Elves have lost better stuff.
Yeah.
Turn 5 sees the Elves tend to like move around in front of the. So basically, there was like the ball carriers being screened more than it was like really caged up. The Elves have to move around the front of this relatively minor screen to get a 1-die on the ball. They get a stun. They get the 1-die POW. They get a stun on the ghoul, but the scatter's awful. It's next to 3 Necro pieces, and in the next couple of turns, basically Necro being unable to make. Necro just doesn't even try to make an attempt to retrieve the ball. They just keep putting tackle zones on it.
Oh wow!
But scatter the ball, and Aldo is able to get the ball and run with it right up until he fails a GFI, which I thought was kind of ill-advised, given that the reroll had already been used. But it would have gotten more distance, would have gotten away from more Necro pieces. So if it had worked, it would have been nice. It's just always tough to see like the no GFI reroll with the ball. Yeah. Ball hits the ground. So the Necro actually had a chance to try to score here. They would have. They could have put 1 Wolf in the end zone and then have the move plus white grab the ball and make a quick pass to him, or like do a 2 GFI for a handoff. But the plus AG Warwolf just rolls a 1 on the dodge that he needed to make it. So it's that. That was their turn 8. The Elves have no scored range for their turn 8, so 0-0. Second half, like the last match we talked about, right? We know what the result is. There has to be a turnover.
Right.
So there's 2 Elf KOs, Walnut and Ash. Neither come back.
Oh.
And that's a big problem.
Yeah.
We soon get a Kaz on you, and that the Journeyman that we see there. So that's 2 more players gone.
I thought you got cast in the first half.
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is me listing what had already happened.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Sorry, I was misunderstanding my own notes. Thank you for correcting me.
No,
yes, we had the Kaz on you and the Journeyman. So that's the Elves were at 7 because they didn't have it a bench.
Yep.
They're down all 4 because 2 were perms, 2 were like removals for the length of the match.
Yeah.
2 of the KOs didn't count. So, thank you for correcting me.
Sure. And so Necro.
And the Necro was only at the 2 expulsions.
Yeah.
That's their bench.
Yep.
So they're fine. They're full 11, and that's actually a really nice relationship to maintain. Right, it's as much dirty player as your bench.
Yeah.
The Elves move to score quickly, and Necro basically really isn't able to do anything to stop it. Like there's nothing they can do to make it not work. The Elves are just like too fast. All they can hope is that there's something like a turn 10 pass to Elm who's standing in the end zone, and that Elm just snake eyes the catch.
God.
They just have to hope that happens. It does happen. It scatters out the back of the end zone.
Oh my gosh.
And then scatters in. That's a turnover, of course. Stone Ripper's like, cool. I'll go get that. He scoops it up, so he runs into a cage. Necro turn 10, they're now caged up. Admittedly, in the Elf side of the, back in their half of the field, but that happened. That happened in the first half, so they're used to it by now.
Yeah.
That ends up basically being like the decisive thing in the match. That's what decided the result. If that pass had worked, it would have been 1-0, and there's like a quarter left. Maybe Necro scores to tie, maybe they don't. Instead, the Elves are at a worse. We talked about how the Elves, had managed to stop them last time. They're at a worse number disadvantage than they were at any point in the first half, and they're spread out from their scoring attempt.
Yeah.
They're able to do things like mark up the ball carrier, but they end up like in the middle of such a pack of Necro that they end up focus more on like trying to extract themselves from that than they really like pressuring the Necro. And they'll just be like, Necro just like bounce them around between pieces, hunting for POWs, right? There's like no tackle, but it's like 3-die block, 3. So like turn 12, Elm is KO'd. Uldia takes 5 incoming 3-die blocks.
Whoa.
None of them get him down.
Yeah.
And he just sidesteps. He's just like, sometimes he moves onto the ball, sometimes he moves off the ball. He ends up not on the ball, standing in the pack in the middle of Necro on his feet.
Okay.
David Leclerc tries to use the small number of pieces to keep pressure up, but turn 13 then sees a stun at Aldia. Nimdal takes his badly hurt, and that means we're down to 4 elves. And Necro had one rookie zombie that had left the field. Took an edgy bust and then regened.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still at 10.
Yeah.
And at this point, Necro's able to move authoritatively up the field. Snake Eye GFI in turn 14 means David Leclerc has no coverage on his half the field, and the match gets like really close to over. Aldi attempts to get close enough to at least like pressure Pones Azores to score on turn 15, but a second failed GFI. Sure Feet had been gone to recover the first one. Ends that dream. He's KO'd. Tree takes a KO on Necro turn 15, but it's basically over at that point. Didn't really matter. Pones Azores safely scores on turn 16.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aldi that one turn where David Leclerc saying Aldi was super MVP. Yeah, him getting bounced around that one turn where it's just like, nope, that's not going to do it. Nope, no pals in that. Really something.
Oh, man. Yeah, that does sound similar to our other hybrid elf match in a lot of different ways.
Oh, and there's Pimp.
Yeah.
So we have not done his match yet. We said we would delay it if he hadn't shown up yet, but it's the one after the one we're about to do. So it's 2 away.
Yeah, the elm missing that catch, that sounds really rough. And then of course having it bounce out of bounds.
It was
flipping the script completely.
Exactly. He needed to make that catch. That was like he needed to make that catch, and when he did it, he needed to not let it go flying out of bounds.
Yeah.
No perms to either team. We've got a third dirty player piece on Necro team. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of dirty player.
Yeah.
That said, it would allow you to start doing things like putting like the dirty player wrestle guy on the line of scrimmage, and not worry if he like dies.
Yeah, true.
And that means that it's easier to get him in there on defense. So I would start doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Just kind of want him to die anyway.
Yeah, because once he has to wrestle, he's a little too expensive. All bark to bite still alive, just perfectly fine MVP.
Yeah, a lot of
what skill do you even take the move up? There's you might want sure hands. Well, gets him a little bit closer to sure hands.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Bib comment. This is what we want to see next week. 3 dirty player pieces.
Oh, I see. Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
We're almost through the reviews. One last thing I'll say is that we do have some variation. It seems like with the zombies, it seems like Quintus's brothers, are all joining up, but no longer just troublemakers.
Yeah, down to 2 troublemakers.
Yeah. There was 4 at one point, right? So I assume he's like recycling them out and spending money.
I think they're just dying.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
I think it was only 3 at the max, maybe.
Okay. I was seeing double at some point though.
Actually, no, 4. Actually, no, it probably was 4.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I think one did get hurt and or killed. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to keep track. So we've talked about. No Quintus for MVP protests have started at this point, but still time.
Yeah,
still time to get your votes in, or start up a petition. So yeah, all right. On to my match versus Mean Green Thick. One thing I'll say, I took the wrong level. Not on Village Cheese Dog. I took the wrong level on Key Heimdall Pie. I really should have taken Kick. Because the start of this match. And my plan for this match was to try to be...
I seem to recall telling you not to take Kick, so sorry about that.
Oh, did you? Oh, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. Kick's okay. But then, immediately go into this match planning to be Elfie, so I kick off to orcs. They're set up and like all inside the hash mark. Nothing on the wings, and I get a blitz right out the gate. Would have been nice if I kicked that short and, along the sideline, get right under that, have a cage, and this is a whole different match. But yeah, Dauntless seemed like a choice because orcs don't like it, so they'd punch him more or something.
The problem with kick on the Norse team, or where you're trying to put it, is there's just so many positionals on the team. Right, you can only have 8 people off the line of scrimmage, and look at 666 through the Yeti, and it's like, I guess you don't feel 666, I guess, on defense.
Yeah,
but no, it's like you have the Yeti, you have 2 Ulfs, you have the 2 Zerkers, you have the 2 runners. None of them go on the line of scrimmage. Mm-hmm. You have a spot for like 1 more, and that's the guard guy.
Yeah, exactly. So it's either putting the guard guy on the line or having a kick piece.
Yeah, my Norse team that I played a bit ago, I basically made it work by, I had a runner I left off on defense, and your runners are too good to do that.
Yeah.
And I then had a dirty player kick piece. Because it's like, well, if he's got 2, because basically you kick with him, and then you're like, well, done with that for this game. And now I'm going to go foul some shit with this guy.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, maybe if... I think Brander's probably at 15 or 16 because I think he snuck in another MVP somewhere. So if he levels up, I'll probably do that.
The crowd or the refs, whoever decides that, loves dirty player pieces. My dirty player runners get so many goddamn MVPs.
Yeah. Partey was the same way. I mean, the name alone just, I guess, screamed fan favorite. But yeah, anyway, that was a thought I had after all of this. But who's to say? That's not really how dice work, I think, is what everyone does say. And yeah, so we have a blitz that I can't really do much with because it ended up being kicked right into the middle. But I play it pretty aggressively. I get both my runners up with an Ulf bodyguard and kind of like half-seas screen in front. Not really a screen, but just leaving some pieces back just in case. Don't really know what's going to happen, and sure enough, the ball scatters right into the hands of G. Cole. Which is probably exactly who he wanted to be carrying it, because he's talking up stand firm, as he should. I only have 1 Juggernaut piece. And so pretty immediately, very immediately, he gets the ball up into a cage in the center, and this cage has many layers. There's a lot of orc caging happening, and me trying to screen and try to break in, but there wasn't much room. Especially now that all the black orcs have guard, it's really tough to find a spot even for a cage dive that looks like it has some potential to do something. And plus it was too early. On the blitz, I did get a stun through the Yeti, so the Yeti was actually doing some work, and I started feeling good about him. So I used him again on my turn 1 to try to get, take another swipe at the cage. That's kind of the nice thing with the Yeti, is that if you can bust in on a cage, then they have to spend, the opponent has to spend a bunch of time and pieces to try to get the Yeti out of there. They are able to, though. No, there wasn't too much that went too right for me in this first half. It was, again, a lot of orc punching stuff. I knew that they like to scrum a lot, but it was just, a lot of punching stuff. And I couldn't get, y'all are talking about Boomer, who, yes, obviously one of my favorites, but I couldn't really get Boomer free until there was at one point he pushed him away, didn't have any mark, and I did get one bombing chance. And I'm trying to remember what happened. I didn't get anything magical like I did against Flyboys. I might have broke down one cage corner, but it didn't open things up for me too much. First quarter was really a bunch of back and forth, them keeping the ball very protected and me just trying to punch and get some removals. They finally get a KO on me by, it was like turn 4 or 3, and I'm pretty much just trying to stay screened out in front. They did manage to this was the big mistake that I made in the first half, which was using a front part of my screen, using a runner for the front part of my screen. So Forsetti Spaghetti was out there, and I thought I had enough pressure around other parts of the cage, but it didn't count for much, and they were able to get a good blitz with Dr. Gray. Yeah, I think that's how you'd say it. And get an MNG on him. And I did bring out the Apo because a bunch of my strategy around this match revolved around the newly minted Leap Runner. But alas, I couldn't get anything better than fractured. I think it was a fractured leg turned into a fractured arm. But yeah, missed next game either way. Orcs feeling pretty good about that, continuing to move their like blob cage upwards. And yeah, you can kind of see how it would go from there. They don't get another removal for a bit. They did get my dirty player badly hurt on turn 6. Again, just kind of like pushing me around. I again didn't get to even get a whiff at the ball carrier. They got him caged up pretty solidly. And there was a moment on turn 7 where they had less than a full cage. So I had a chance to go and blitz the ball carrier. I did get a blitz. However, I rolled it was just a 1 die. Rolled a 1 and then a 1 on the re-roll, and ended up getting stunned for my troubles, and so the orcs were able to walk it in. So yeah, it wasn't a great half. Again, probably could have done a little better job pushing or protecting players. And as it was, yeah, had 2 casualties and a KO for my trouble. I did attempt a 1 turn, but didn't get very far. I think I had to use re-roll on the blitz, and then yeah, tried to do a couple pushes, and those turned into pals, and then I was trying to do that. Didn't get any removals on that either, so not a good half at all. Start of the second half. Boomers obviously sent off. He did his part. And so I have down 3. So yeah, I think I have 11 or 10 at this point, and they obviously have a full deck. I'm gunning for the win at this point. So all I...
You have to.
Yeah, so I set up for a quick score. The ball didn't go super deep. I was able to pick it up and get it back to my thrower, and then yeah, set up basically a cage for the runner to catch. They were able to bust in pretty well and did have a pretty decent defense, but I was able to escape narrowly to get the score on turn 10. Turn 11. Yeah. Oh, I think there was a riot at the start. Yeah.
That's correct. There was a riot at the start.
Yep, missed that. Yeah, so there was a riot that pushed everything back a turn, which is not good. That is not ideal for me, because I needed to 2 turn and then get get to trying to get the ball away from them. But yeah, managed the 2-turn part, but at that point, 3 turns essentially had gone by. On the next kickoff, there was another riot, which also took off a turn, so that was also not good. Yeah, Nuffle just really wanted me to tie this one. I think I mounted a pretty good defense at this point. They actually didn't recover the ball on their first turn after the riot, but there was a lot of orcs between me and there. That said, I threw everything into it, and had some pieces in range if there was another failed pickup, which there was. So I was getting fortunate luck at this point with all that. They were down to 1 reroll and I had 3, so again, not too bad. But I can't quite get at the ball yet. I was able to mark up and push down a lot of pieces, but yeah, they really Pim Pim's saying how defended they were. I think they knew what I was trying to do, and they weren't trying to win. They wanted to frustrate me as much as possible. Yeah. So they were doing things like blitzing my runner that wasn't really in their way of going forward, because my runner was set up there to try to get the ball next turn. So it was a pretty targeted defense of their offense, and one that worked. Obviously, it ended up a tie. I had a chance on turn 15. There were some switching that I did to try to get the best pieces in place, but it was kind of tough not knowing where the orcs were going to try to take the ball. I wanted to still have something in case they tried to get it deep out of my range, while also maintaining a scoring threat. And all in all, it didn't matter. I didn't even get close to picking up the ball. I had a shot and ended up ending my turn 16 with a skull on a reroll. So yeah, it was frustrating. Not super surprising, I guess, given how much the orcs have tied and not lost this season, which they've only lost once. The fewest losses in the division, and they're so well suited to hold off Norse with that much armor, that much guard, and they've got block where they need it all too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really tough match. It was a really tough matchup for you. The orc team is in a great spot right now, and the orc weaknesses are they don't have claw. Well, they don't need it against Norse because you got 87 all over the place.
Yeah,
and you don't have any claw to bring at them except for the Yeti, who doesn't have mighty blow or block or any good skills like that.
Right,
and is really unreliable.
Yeah,
and so it's a really tough match.
I like Pim Pim's comment that the true answer to where the orcs wanted the ball was who cares, which turned out to be very true. But yeah. So that was pretty much the match. The MVP was really nice. I got Billy Cheese Dog their next level, so they got Dauntless.
Because Dauntless, you were so happy with Dauntless on that lineman.
Yeah.
Let's need more of that.
Yeah, I was let's get him kick, but everybody in the Norse Discord threw stuff at me, and so I was okay, fine.
Yeah.
I think
if you gave a berserker kick, it would make it very easy to have kick on the field on defense.
Yeah, I think right. Dauntless makes a lot more sense for pieces that are going to blitz and hit things more regularly and with purpose, because there's the occasional strength 4 pieces that you need to take down the tackle. So yeah, so that was pretty much that. I think that, yeah, the Orcs played really well. Like you said, G. Cole got his level, which I guess we haven't seen what that choice is, but there's not much that you could go wrong with. You could do another Mighty Blow, you could do another Tackle.
Yeah.
You could do Frenzy. Well, yeah, you could do
You
Frenzy.
could do Frenzy. I've actually, that was one of the things I was thinking about, is like, you want Frenzy somewhere. You could do him on Dr. Gray, on that area, like, well, he's a blitzing style piece, but
Yeah.
Frenzy stand firm is great.
Yeah, it really is.
Frenzy isn't necessarily always about killing stuff, so you don't need Mighty Blow. You don't always need Tackle because you're getting 2 chances at them.
Yeah.
And Guard actually kind of goes decently because you can Frenzy into some interesting places.
That's true. Yeah, I was thinking the opposite, that it makes it awkward. Because sometimes you want to like blitz and then reposition, which Frenzy doesn't let you do. But
Yeah, you have 2 Frenzy Guard pieces on your team.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, I do. But they do already have a Guard stand for a Mighty Blow, so why not go the other way?
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, well played by them to kind of suss out what my strategy was and counteract that, and yeah, uphold the line, keep those ties rolling.
Well, actually did, because I was curious about this question, like, what do you put on G. Cole? So I was looking into like, well, what do like really well developed orc teams do? This is actually a lot of really, this is an impressive amount of blitzer development for an orc team. It seems like it's hard for them to actually keep 4 of them healthy like this.
Yeah. So yeah, you start experimenting basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, makes sense. All right, on to the next match. This was the match of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just rewatched this for the stream, and had not realized how close this was to being the other way in so many instances. Yeah, so let's get into it. I actually missed a bit of the start, but I know that the Skaven received it, and keep in mind that it's raining throughout, I think, the whole match. I don't remember any weather changes. But yeah, Tim Nielsen giving the game away. Turn 8 was the pivotal one. But yeah, so yeah, the Rats start out with the ball. And the Tainted Brewers get 2 KOs in the first couple turns, while the Rats are setting up for their quick score, but they don't, Tim Nielsen plays his Rats pretty scrappy, so they're not just going to score quickly just to score quickly, if they don't have to. And so they actually do a pretty good job of stalling out, keeping the ball away from the Chorfs, and being able to score on turn 5. Skaven actually, even the turn before that, managed to get Kaz on David Woodley. Took his badly hurt pretty early on.
Nice. And
the Chorfs had actually used up all of their rerolls by turn 4 on either like failed GFIs, or they had a dub skull on turn 4, which is what they rerolled. And yeah, they were losing pieces almost as much as the Skaven a little bit. Like, it was pretty even. There's some KOs that were happening. I think KO on a failed GFI for Tainted Brewers, and so yeah, so it was kind of even. Like I said, the Skaven score on their turn 5, so Chorfs get the ball on their turn 5 and have 4 turns to even it up. Even with the kickoff, like, I just watching back on Pimp's stream, like, you just see he's starting to get frustrated. There's a rock that comes in and stuns his bull. He's like, goodness. After having to use like all his rerolls on GFIs and dub skulls. But Chorfs pick up the ball in the rain, which is nothing to sneeze at, and they get it into kind of a cage. They don't get any removals on their LOS or blitz, but they have the ball and it's kind of secured. Next 2 turns, just kind of go back and forth. The Skaven are content to kind of screen off, thinking that the Chorfs won't be able to get enough speed or steam to get downfield. The Chorfs do manage to get upfield and find just enough room to potato one of their hobgoblins. I think it's the agility 4-1. Yeah, Richard Burton. Down pretty close to the end zone on turn 7. And they get a removal somewhere in there too. On turn 8, which is what Tim Nielsen was referring to, this is where everything kind of shifts a bit. The Skaven or Triform Cutter gets up and blitzes the potatoed ball carrier pretty much immediately. They don't get the knockdown, but strip ball does its work. And so the ball is next to next to Richard Burton, and kind of in the open. The Gutter Runner's Triform is still attached to the Hobgoblin. I think it was on the pitch and had to jump up to make the blitz, so it didn't have much more movement. And there are a couple other Gutter Runners that are positioned that could do dodges to go pick up or mark the ball. But that's not what we do first. We start punching all the Chorfs, and it actually works. Mickey Mantle takes a Kaz, and it's the one we see because the Apo offered death. And blood in the water. How do how does this Skaven team not just we're gonna keep punching stuff?
Yeah.
But ended up getting a 1 in 9 on a loner 2 die. Tried to reroll through it and couldn't. And so with no other marks on the ball, the Chorfs are able to get up, blitz off Triform, which might have been a GFI to get there, because Tim's saying he was fine, with Triform there marking the Hobgoblin, but the pickup was in the rain and in a tackle zone, so as Tim's saying, it's safer. But yeah, I still think, obviously hindsight, but still, I think having at least one mark on that ball would have made the score way more unlikely, given that the Chorfs didn't have any rerolls. But yeah, as it turns out, Chorfs managed to clear Triform, and Richard Burton is able to pick up the ball in the rain and run it in. So it's 1-1 at the half, which is huge. That is pretty much what shifted the whole game. Oh man, Tim's just coming in with these comments, and I'm like, oh, interesting. But yeah, so
this will be fun on the season end thing when there's actually they're in the voice chat being
yeah.
No, this is why I did this.
Yeah, well, that's why we can just have them say, tell us why first without us having to do all this stuff. But yeah, Supreme Greed, yeah. And I think everybody's kind of been there this season one way or another. But yeah, so start of the half, the Chorfs get a KO on the start and are able to pick up the ball, and they're pretty deep with it. So the Skaven just push all in. They get at least Triform Cutter, and I think maybe one of their other movement up. Gutter Runners, it might have been Trashmaster. And just into the middle of it, in between the Chorfs on the line and the Hobgoblin in the back. And the Chorfs do find a bit of an alley to go and cage up, but it's really awkward. And Triform is able to get a blitz on the ball carrier, but can't get a knockdown because we now have Ramses doing ball carrier duty, and so Sure Hands and Fend. It's a pretty good defense against Triform. Meanwhile, Redcap trips and KOs himself. So Wizard's still in play, and turn 11, while there's so many tasty Skaven targets all around them, I think it was pretty tempting to try to go after one of the Gutter Runners. They they focus in on like trying to get the ball up the pitch, and they push up, Kaz a loner, and get a cage that's actually upfield a little bit. Because there's no Skaven in front. They've all kind of like gone in to surround and try to like cut off the Chorfs. But Chorfs did a really good job on this turn to like reconnect. This is when the fireball comes in. And there's 3 knockdowns. One of the hobgoblins is Kaz, which I guess is Rob Buck. And then 2 other corners are knocked down. The ball carrier's still standing. But the blitz on the ball carrier is good. It's a KO. The ball's exposed, and the rats pick it up and get it to another gutter runner. It's not really caged, but it is like only one piece can get it, and that's Ryan Dunn. And Ryan Dunn does get over there and get it, and stuns the ball carrier. There's 2 GFIs for Richard Burton to get the ball, and he does. It uses a reroll, but definitely worth it. And so now on turn 12, Triform tries to get back up and blitz, but failed. I think there was an option to do a 1 die versus 2 red die. 1 die if Dauntless worked, and I think they were. I don't know if there was a different angle that they were trying to go for with it, but either way, the reroll didn't result. It was like a PAL skull and rerolled into like a push skull or something like that, and so Triform's down. The Chorfs just move the ball way down the pitch. They take the ball carrier way down, but the bull that's moved to safety fails. Surefeet fails him, and so it's just the Richard Burton all by himself, which not many rats can get to, but it's still rats. They can still get there. They get there. The 1 die blitz works. Ball scatters out of bounds, and then it goes back and forth until it finally ends up like in the middle of where the Chorfs are going towards. So like Skaven half. The Skaven pick it up, attempt to punt it, and a hobgoblin intercepts it. And so that was the other turn of the game. Like there's 2 turns of this game because there's just like so much. But yeah, there was a lot of debate. Like this was where watching the stream back was kind of helpful, because you could see Tim Nielsen and maybe he can comment on like trying to decide, do I punt this? Do I punt this far? Do I do an extra GFI so that I don't pass through this hobgoblin, or do I just chuck it because I've already chucked all my dice? I don't have any rerolls. Do I just try to get it? And like that would have worked, because like all the fast moving Chorf pieces were way down the pitch. Like this would have worked. But as it turned out, the hobgoblin got the interception, and that was that. You know, the Chorfs were able to get ball caged. Triform. Oh yeah, actually it wasn't that, because Triform gets in again, KOs another ball carrier. But can't get. They tried to get then a receiver free for whoever recovered could pass. This is a Skaven, and that receiver failed a 2+ dodge. So like even on turn 15, they still had a chance of doing this. There was 1 hobgoblin left, which was again Richard Burton, because the intercepting one I think was like my alcoholism or whatever. Richard Burton has 1 shot at doing it, and is able to do it with 1 last reroll. And then finally, the Skaven do have a chance for a 1 turn, because they have a natural 1-turner now, but fail the first dodge attempt through tackle, and that's that. It was wild.
Sounds like it. It sounds like one of those matches with like just like a couple moments that totally decide the whole thing.
Oh yeah. Sorry, just reading up on chat again, and Nielsen was saying he couldn't stand somewhere it wouldn't be an interception chance because that would put me on the sideline. Yeah, fair. But yeah, after like looking at the results page, you're like, oh, okay, but yeah, there's quite a bit that hinged on things going one way or the other, and as it turns out, Tainter Brewers gets the win.
Yeah, huge win, as we'll see. Really, really influential. Congrats to Pimp for. Everyone knows this who's watching this. Congrats for clinching the playoff spot.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that was that. And just like some roles that Tim needed to not have be certain things were certain things. Whether it was the 6 on the intercept or 1 on the dodge, and that's Blood Bowl to an extent, but yeah, it did seem like it happened a lot towards in that second half.
Yeah, and no permanent damage to goblins on deck. That niggle on Mickey Mantle sucks. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, Claw on David Woodley is very nice, so something there.
Yeah. I think been some discussion on whether to keep Mickey Mantle, but I think going into a postseason, I think you keep him.
Yeah, it feels to me like you keep him for the postseason, and then next season, say you're, depends on where you are, but like say you're Div 3, you maybe fire him and be like, the mission for this season, on top of winning games, is we're going to level up a Bull Centaur. And hey, you send him through, the stat up and double line again. You already had 1 double, so he's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Thing is, niggles aren't that bad. Like,
yeah, they're not right. Yeah,
I wouldn't even necessarily immediately fire him.
Right.
Actually, I wouldn't, but like I understand if you do.
Yeah, I think there's arguments on both sides, but yeah, I do think like don't let the perfect get in the way of the good, and I think there's still a lot that Mickey Mantle can offer. Though I will say, I would say like they do enough like dodging and GFIing and stuff that end up putting them on the ground almost as much as like blocks, and that's where like the niggle probably scares you a little bit, because you could just like have a goof moment where the break tackle doesn't work out, and then they're out of the match. But yeah, I think overall, because they're not in the scrum of it, I think it's actually, I think that balances that out.
Yeah. And as Pivot pointed out, you look at things like how much claw are you going up against. Use AV9, if you're not facing a lot of claw, not that bad. If everybody's hitting you with it, not as good.
Yeah. Right, because, I mean, you look down the line, there's nobody, well, I guess there's Peter Cook. But there's 2 targets for people to focus on if they have a kill team. So that's a thing, but, I think at this point, a lot of teams are coming in with that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, we ready to move to the last match? No, we got both coaches talking on the stream, so don't want to cut off conversation prematurely. But yeah, this was a really fun match to watch, and I think both of you played well. Obviously, Tim's beating himself up for turn 8, but I can see it, especially once you got that Kaz, like that just accelerates that rush of like, man, what if I did that to somebody else? And you just start going through that. But anyway, let's move to the last match of the reviews, which was Goatwork Orn and Sterling Hornets.
Yeah,
the big tie.
Yep. So one note with this match, we see Aelith Darkshard over on the Pro Elf team. That is a new Blitzer replacing the sadly deceased White Raven.
There's only one person sad about that.
Yeah, fair enough. Elves choose to kick. There's some nice weather. There's a deep kick, which Chaos is actually pretty cool with. The Chaos LOS hits are pretty good. They produce 2 KOs. There's a foul on the guard kick lineman, which gives him another KO, but does eat the bribe. 3 removals on turn 1, but they're all KOs. It ate the bribe, so it's very recoverable. Elf turn 1, Thrower removes himself on a failed dodge.
Wow. So
that's 7 Ls on the field to 11 Chaos. Chaos goes for a cage with a screen around the front and sides to like protect the ball from strip ball. This is actually something that like I'll comment on sort of like in general with this match is I feel like there could have been like more aggressive basing. That's sort of scary against Clown Thulu because he's like a very bashy guy, but like it's still your Chaos.
Yeah.
I would have at this point, given that we're talking about a 4-minute advantage, which is enough to basically take care of the fact that like you had to devote some people to protecting the ball.
Right.
So turn 4, Creamsicle levels himself, as you can see. He puts a badly hurt on Aelith's Dark Shard. So that guy did not get much of the match. It's now 6v11. At this point, as we get later into the second half, we see one Chaos able to move into the elf half of the field along the left sideline, and he's also finally got enough of a manpower advantage that he starts to base up some more. So it does eventually happen. I just would have done it a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
The second quarter sees the elves struggle to hold field position or pressure the ball, given the reduced manpower and, frankly, a number of unfortunate ones and snakes on dodges. Little Emphas able to move into a no GFI scoring range on turn 6. He could just hang out there turn 7 inside the cage. The elves knock down a corner and push pieces onto the ball, but Chaos have enough around that they can clear things up, including this includes basically almost completely surrounding the sidestepper to force them where you can move.
Yeah.
The 3 die actually gets a POW anyways, but they've been able to make fine anyways.
Yeah.
Little on scores on turn 8, where the only Chaos dice there are a 2 die where a push was enough, and that 3 die I described, where a push would have also been enough. So very safe score. The question is then, can the Pro Elves one turn? All their KOs come back, so they do exhaust their bench, but they get up to 11 players. Security Gate then prevents the riot, so it holds the Pro Elves to a 1-turn attempt rather than allowing the 2-turn. Clown Thulu plays his attempt beautifully. He gets the hits he needs. He gets the pass and the catch. It's just a 3+ dodge, 2+ dodge, 2 GFI from the 1-turn, and the 2+ dodge snakes.
Oh, God.
So
that was it? Like it was home free after the 2+?
Yeah. Exactly. Gosh. It was just some 2+. So yeah.
Jeez.
So first half Chaos drive that ends with Chaos up 1-0. Second half kickoff event is free bribes, which Clown Thulu is not loving because he has the less good fouling team.
Right.
He was like, oh, I got that one bribe got rid of went away so quickly.
Yeah.
It's like nope, it's back.
Yeah.
So elves get the ball easily and they hold off kind of like halfway deep. And then they spread themselves out along the LOS to have multiple avenues to move up the field more rapidly in like future turns. And 2 stuns on their LOS hits makes it easier for them to like prevent a strong front against this. Chaos turn 9 sees them set up a screen. They do a no assist foul now that they got that bribe. But it was actually like 1+1-.
Okay.
But it was on Hawk, who's like
okay. Yeah.
And it eats the bribe. No, not even a stun. The first couple of turns we see a lot of pushing back and forth. Each team loses a reroll to a double skull, in fact.
Wow.
And then turn 11 for the elves, see the skulls come in even harder. With another elf reroll going to recover from a set of double skulls, which means that the reroll then isn't available for the double skulls that come in after that on that same turn. So just brutal for them. And then Chaos turn 11, they remove Iron and Rose Watch with a badly hurt, and they get player on the ball, though he ends up easily pushed off a bit.
Yeah.
Chaos turn 12 brings another elf KO, so it's 10v8 at this point. Troxburg actually makes kind of a bit of a desperate play, trying to dodge his Rackle piece away from diving tackle, which fails and eats a reroll to try it. I don't think he actually was aware necessarily of the diving tackle.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't have made a lot of sense. It kind of sucked.
Yeah.
That fails. Turn 13 has the ball carrier free, and the elves really make the most of it. They reposition out of range of the chaos pieces. They're able to get an M&G on Creamsicle. The niggle didn't actually matter for that. As a comment, people thinking about their niggles. He takes the Apo to get a no-Kaz to try to have 4 warriors in the next match. Is basically the idea. Like Troxburg goes in onto the stream that it's not like, oh, he thought he was going to come back for this game. It's just he wants 4 warriors in his final week. So yeah, last elf reroll goes out on turn 13 to make a dodge to set up a 2-die to free Bellicose Swift up from some marks. And that makes the last few turns pretty intense because you got rerolls. Clown Cthulhu gets maybe some lucky breaks with a couple KOs, and Santo gets expelled finally without even breaking armor. So that turn 14 sees it as 7 chaos versus 8 elves. Like there's been a real change in power.
Yeah.
Clown Cthulhu scores, leaving chaos 3 turns to respond and try to win. And the elves, have in theory 2 turns to then try to turn them over and score.
Right.
2 chaos KOs do not come back. One of the elf KOs does, so that's going to be 8 chaos versus 10 elves.
Wow.
So it's like this is really at the edge of what like chaos can achieve. So they need something to go their way.
Yeah.
So which they actually do get. So that there's a blitz on the cage corner that double skulls again, which we just have so many of this map.
Jeez.
Then the last chaos reroll actually goes out on turn 15 to try to like establish a screen in this like desperate advance up the field.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have made the GFI. It didn't make the screen that much better because even with the screen that got set up after the GFI, Clown Cthulhu gets the ball down on a 2-die block, sneaks someone in, gets the ball, is able to attempt a pass to scoring the threat, which is inaccurate, and it puts the ball on the ground in the chaos half of the field. Chaos has a beastman in position to score, but the play requires a bunch of blocks to even set up like a chaos warrior going to grab the ball and make a long pass. And the one die gets a skull with no reroll. Would have been nice to have the reroll, so the touchdown fails and it's 1-1.
Yeah.
He probably wouldn't have gotten the touchdown anyways. Frankly, things went well enough for Clown Cthulhu that I think it kind of screwed him.
Yeah.
Like either way. Yeah. So I don't think it was like disastrous. I don't think it necessarily changed the match, but I think the GFI was probably a little bit unnecessary, and like that reroll would have been really nice to have.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one very much tale of two halves. Seems like.
Yeah.
Level is nice on Creamsicle.
Curious what he takes there.
Yeah.
Or piling on, I assume. You do like claw stand for him.
Yeah, that's.
If it's not one of those, I'll be. You could, in theory, do tackle, but probably claw stand for him.
Yeah. And no major damage to the Hornets, so they'll be full strength for their match.
On MVP on Emerald Pike, you're like, well, I don't like the kicker getting MVP, but I do like the guard player getting MVP.
Yeah.
So it's kind of in the middle.
Yeah, there you go. And the tackle wrestle on Goatwork Orange getting level. That's all right. So maybe you're looking for strip ball there or something. I don't know.
I probably wouldn't. It's probably too late for this team. Beastmen just aren't like fast and agile enough to like. I feel like unless it's like really fast, like you have like someone who levels really quickly and you decide to make him a ball hawk, you're just never going to get that piece on the ball.
Yeah.
There's like better stuff to take. I would take Frenzy. I mean, he doesn't have the level yet, just the MVP.
Yeah.
But if he gets the level, I would take Frenzy.
Huh.
That's my plan for my Rackle.
Really?
Which is obviously not a Beastman, and Beastman you can do like more individually variated pieces because you don't get just 4 of them. But I like Wrestle Tackle Frenzy.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of really interesting options. If you do Wrestle Tackle Frenzy Juggernaut, that is a wild piece that could do like people. It's really hard to adapt to.
Sure. Yeah.
So the actual dream for him is like an AG up and like leap and shit like that.
Oh yeah. Definitely. Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Let's look at what this all means.
Oh yeah, that's our last match.
Yeah. So yeah, here we have our traditional leaderboard, and I think this pretty clearly shows where we're at.
Yeah.
We have.
Congrats again to Taylor Brewers.
Yep. That pretty much straight line from. We said middle of the season up until now, skyrocketed them to the top, and nobody can catch them at this point.
Yep. Then a pack of 6.
Yep.
Which we'll see on the next slide. All theoretically have a shot.
Yeah, theoretically. And then the rest been fighting it out. Let's look at playoff chances. or Challenger Cup chances, I guess we should say now.
Yeah, we know our playoff chances. One person has 100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's on the slide. One person has 100%.
Yeah.
Everyone else has 0%.
Yep. Yeah, so Tanner Brewers has claimed that. Making my prediction in the pre-cap come true, so that's fun.
Frost of the Empire has also claimed last place.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, we see there's some small chances for some of us, better chances for the rest of us. Yeah, Goatwork Orange in the best position. Sterling Hornets not too far behind. And then I'd say Flyboys and Goblins.deck are kind of like the next tier. Our Far Prime and Elf still has a little bit of a chance for that third place. Do I really have no shot at second place? Guess
that's what it says.
Yeah. Yes, the Prophet. I can't get my can't get all the technical issues worked out of my stream, but I sure know how to pick teams from them all. Though we both ended up cursing a different team with our predictions. Yeah, so it's really going to come down. Obviously, it comes down to last week, right? But I think the next slide is actually one we'll have some more things to talk about. Oh, dang it. Where did it go? Where did I put that? Hold up. I just talked about technical difficulties, and here we go. Here it is. Current third place rankings as of the end of week 12. And folks, we're at the bottom of the available slots.
Yeah. Y'all really been like playing like shit.
I knew
you guys were like doing really well on this third place ranking thing, and you've completely fallen off. It disappoints me.
I think we all wanted to make sure we were wrong about how much we had this locked in, because I think when we first started talking about it, it was like, oh yeah, we're in the middle of the pack. There's no way, like all our top teams are looking strong. This will be a cinch. And now it's like, yeah, I don't know. Even like a tie, like if that third place spot is 23 points, there's not a guarantee of us getting that. In fact, it's probably less than likely.
Yeah. No, I would say if you want to go to Challengers Cup, win your game this week.
Yeah. That's fair, Tim. Everyone's been beating the crap out of each other or just tying each other. And it, really was, some kind of different, things kind of shifted a bit in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
But, thanks for not winning. Yeah. I think it also says like that, there was a lot of competitive teams in this division that we, our top teams locked in at 27 points. That's like the top, that's the top third place team in tier 4. And so like I think there's a number of tier 4 divisions that just have a really heavy top 2 or 3. Yeah. Whereas we're pretty like a heavy third or even half of our teams.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. We looked at it and we were like, oh, there's all these really competitive teams, and so one of them will do like win all their matches.
Yeah.
And like you guys have it locked down. It's like, no, but there's a bunch of competitive third place teams, which means there's a bunch of competitive coaches and teams around there, and so you're all going to tie each other or like win one and lose one and stuff, and just it would not work out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's kind of scary because I mean, I was, obviously I'm part of all this. I tied past like 4 out of my 6 matches and have gone nowhere fast. Like I said, when we started looking at this, our 3rd place spot was at 20 points, and we've gained a single point for the past 2 weeks, and I think that's all of us, right? So like, it's not just Sterling Hornets; it's like everybody gunning for that spot is tying, and I was hoping we would send 3. 2 to challengers, 1 to playoffs. I thought that would be a lot of fun, especially as recapper, because maybe get on some more streams, and I hope we still do. But yeah, we got to see. It's gonna be a fun last week.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's not quite how that works, but that's usually like 50% of the stuff we talk about.
Said.
Yeah,
that's the way we said it.
Yeah. But yeah, this was. Yeah, this is what it is. All these teams have played their 12 matches, and so yeah, we'll see what this next week brings. But yeah, I think, like Kodiak said, you're actually going to be looking more at that 2nd place spot, that guaranteed Challengers Cup spot, as the goal. And if you fall a little bit and get a little bit lucky, maybe you get 3rd place and there's a 3rd place spot. So
yeah,
it seems like, one thing I'll say too is that's been interesting, or at least, and I haven't had my ear to the ground all that much with like REL playoff chatter, or REBBL playoff chatter, but it seems like the stigma for challengers is gone, or at least not nearly as much as it was last season. Like, I feel like last season people were like, I don't know if I'm going to take my challengers ticket, or like that sort of thing. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what it kind of felt like.
I begin the same vibe. I think part of it might be like people have now gone to see that there's been like a season of it, and like it got real coverage. Like all of those games got cast by multiple people.
Yeah.
All of them got commentary. All of them had viewers. People like actually cared about the results. Like, and like hopefully that like helped people be like, actually, people care about this.
Yeah. I hear you, Tim. It's still not playoffs.
Yeah.
But one thing that, I mean, there is like a success story though too, right? Where you have the coach that won it last year, and name is Thessa, who's in Div 1 and is like challenging for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
And has a ton of competition, but has 4 playoff spots to fight for. And I think they were like either a 1-season team or a 2-season team at that point. Yeah. But yeah, Thessa is a really good coach, and he's doing chaos, and there's all of that. But it's an interesting way, like if you're looking at the tier system as like and looking at ways to progress and like get to see different parts of REBBL and play different coaches, it's a cool way to like be able to prove yourself in an immediate way versus like a season-long way.
Yeah, like you can jump from 4 to 2 by doing even decently, and you need to win to get to like Div 1.
Right.
Just win a match or 2 in it, and you might well get to Div 2.
Yeah.
And there's multiple playoff spots there.
Right. Yeah, and then your record, doesn't have to be 27 points or even at 22 points, you're probably up in the mix for playoffs. For real playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know that there's much more else to say, but let's get into what will decide everything in the final week. That said, we don't know if these matches are going to be played with Cross of the Empire and Ravenpo, which I think is the next one. We don't know the circumstances, which makes it hard to talk about, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, so looking at this match, we have 2 coaches badly beat up teams. I think both of them are in place to reroll. No playoff consequences. If they want to play a game, and God, Ratsadam has nothing left.
No, they don't.
This match,
Yeah.
and Cross the Empire is so beat up.
Yeah.
If they want to, hopefully they'll do the match because you get in trouble if you don't do matches.
Right.
But I have no there's no consequences to it. Hopefully you just do it and just mess around and have a fun match.
Yeah, exactly. No collusion, but yeah, I mean, what else can you do?
What could you collude for?
Justin, it's Justin's time.
Yeah.
This is. Yeah, David's saying he doesn't think this game will happen. I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that's entirely possible.
Yeah. So there's that.
It is what it is.
One suggestion. So we actually, I think, have 2 matches that are about to start. Which is not this one. Do you want to try to skip to those?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
So I think we still have Pimp and David in chat. Both of those are playing independently, but let's do that. All right. So first one up is Skaven Rat Rodents and All Bark versus All Bark and No Bite.
So yeah, no playoff consequences here, but teams that are very much worth still playing.
Yeah.
So it's about staying alive. It's about gaining development.
Yep.
Having a good time.
Mm-hmm. Which we know the Khemri has been having quite the good time this season, with 39 casualties given and only 14 received. That's All Bark No Bites, a bit of a mirror image there with the casualties. So yeah, I think both. Oh, and it's in the Khemri Stadium.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a free bribe. We've got 540 coming to Quick Pip Up with that MNG Tomb Guardian. So you're gonna see probably another bribe at least in Ramtut. And we'll see what he gets after that.
Right. Yeah, Ramtut's been almost a rostered player for them for a couple matches.
I would say that and one more bribe are locked in. It's what happens after that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think David's just going to be using his.
Ramtut's 380, so that'd be 480 with the bribe. That leaves 60. You probably just go ahead and buy a.
I forgot about this. David has a dirty player Wood Elf. When did this happen?
Yeah, that's pretty recent.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But
this should be a fun match. This is two coaches who play at these teams. I think in fun, interesting ways. Who really play a game. It has no consequences.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago. Oh, you know what? You might have commented on this, Kodiak. And
because you don't see them that often.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
I just said, I guess I didn't watch the match this week. You did, so yeah. But yes, this will be a fun match, and hopefully nothing happens to either of these teams other than a good old time. But
yeah,
it seems unlikely that'll be it. Yeah, cool. All right, and then I think with all those bribes in the water and dirty players in the water, nobody's going to be wanting to dodge and fall over. And even Ultra Craig might, I don't dare to say it, but might hesitate on piling on for once. But I don't know.
Yeah, because if Ultra Craig hits the ground, Nimdal has to come in.
Yeah, dodge through 3 tackle zones to stop one. Yeah. So should be interesting. Pip-Up says unlikely, which I assume means unlikely that he's going to hold back from piling on.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. All right, so let's move to Tomb Guardians get found. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right, yeah, Arf I'm an Elf versus Tainted Brewers. This one... Well, this is interesting because while Tainted Brewers doesn't need to win, they don't want to get beat up by Arf I'm an Elf.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is 2 very dangerous werewolves are going to be taking hits on all sorts of pieces.
Yeah. And so how do you stop Necro from punching you? You gotta try to fight back.
Yeah. So I assume that these teams will get into it, and who knows what happens then, right?
Right.
3 claw on one side, 2 on the other.
Yeah.
One of the claws on the right hand side doesn't have mighty blow, so it's like 2 claw mighty blow pieces.
Yeah.
It's they're gonna fight it out.
Yeah.
150 inducements going to the Chaos Dwarves. That looks to me like a bribe and a babe.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think a wizard, because you don't care about winning. You just care about like killing them faster than they can kill you. It's like you might do a wandering apothecary.
Yeah.
Given you have 2 dirty players, and that's actually a fair amount of dirty player.
Yeah, you could do that. It's Hob and a bribe. Well, okay. Yeah, I guess Bull Centaur. I was saying.
Because he had 200 in cash, he spends down to 150, gets an extra Hob, as like fodder.
Oh yeah.
And then I like the Hob better than the babe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, getting a bench for this game, I think, is really good. Getting fodder for this game is really good. And hopefully you can,
Because he was only at 12 with that Bull Centaur out. That at least gets him to 13.
Yep. Cash for days is right. So just 100, but yeah, that's definitely a bribe, given that they have 3 dirty players, as we talked about on the other side for from an elf. Yeah.
Yeah, what I would say is, because Ponazor's will be interested in winning this match, right? He is just on the cusp of like, if he wins it, maybe something happens.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's going to try to play to win, which means that I think is Pimp's advantage, is that he has to play to win, because if you totally back off from that, then your opponent becomes fearless.
Yeah.
But you play like conservatively to win, or to force the draw even.
Right.
Which your opponent can't live with, and that I think is probably like, if you force him to make plays for the ball, where then you can control that he's making blitzes on the pieces, you're going to get blitz like Rob Buck and that other Hobgoblin he's going to buy.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, could take a page from Gojira's playbook against me from last week, where they just like cage the hell up and just like stomped on the pitch, scored, and then just try to keep, tried to stop me, but mainly just, didn't want me to steal the ball from them ever.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see. It could have some interesting consequences.
Yeah.
I think I had a note on something on this match. Let me check that. Oh, I would just note that Peter Cook and Vladimir Vitosky are both within 1 SPP of leveling.
Oh, okay.
So they'll presumably be doing vanity passes, because that's like one of those pieces.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
But you're gonna hope that they take good hits and get themselves another level.
Yeah. So some micro goals for your match.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do agree. I think the Necro is definitely going to be hyped up to win and not settle for a tie. They can't afford it, and we'll see what that results in. Cool.
Yeah. So those are the ones that'll be happening momentarily.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I'll have the results soon enough. Do you want to step back to the? We skipped over.
Yeah. So this was match number 2, I believe.
Yeah. We should end up on Silkwood City Slickers versus Flyboys.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Another match where it's not clear if it's going to happen.
Yeah. I did right without knowing like what the communication was like. We don't know. Maybe people were out of town. But yeah, if this one happens, because we know Flyboys wants to play, or they want to win.
Yes, if they can win, they're in like an okay position, given that as we'll see, the like 3rd and 5th place teams are playing each other.
Yeah. Is that right? 5th place?
Maybe 6th.
No, I think I'm in 6th, or am I 7th?
3rd versus 5th. I was right.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So yeah, they want to get a win. That'll put them at. Why can I not think of how many points that is? That'll put them at 24 points, which could be enough well, could be enough for a lot. Like, it could get them into second place if Traxpers loses too.
Right. It's second place until someone else wins something, and Sterling Hornets has a really tough match. Go Work Orange has a tough match, and third place might even be enough. So.
Might be. Yeah. Yeah. So and this one was going to be tough to talk about anyway because you have Silkwood City Slickers doing their loner army with 700 TV.
Yeah. So yeah, it's 800 or so, and it's just under 800 inducements.
Yeah.
The team looks nothing like this, and he has been purposely doing like different combinations of stuff just to try stuff out in the matches he's been able to play.
Yeah.
So if it happens, who knows what it's going to be. So
yeah.
Good luck to Klepto, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be. Yeah. I don't know what we'll see. Probably like a Morg, just because Morg versus Air Power seems pretty epic.
That would be cool, right? Like, you think you're a good ogre?
Yeah, right. And then from there, I mean, we know he's not going to take a wizard. So, yeah, some other star player or bribe or something. So, yeah, this one could be entertaining. And we've seen some close matches with our loner army elves. Flyboys narrowly escaping peak altitude last week. So could be enough shenanigans to make this one close to if it gets played.
Yeah.
All right, on to the next one. Which we already talked about.
Yeah, we should be looking at 4.
Yep. Oh yeah, speaking of peak altitude, they're playing against me.
Yeah.
I'm going to be giving them 350 inducements without my runner for this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I can't remember. I feel like Derek Cannon's talked back and forth about whether he's going to reroll or not. So obviously that I don't know if it's clear at this point. I think it would likely be clear. There's only so much development that can happen in this last match. Obviously there could be some damage coming his way, but like I think going into this match, them deciding what they're going to do with their team will affect their strategy quite a bit.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you're in a position where if you win, then in theory there is an avenue to making playoffs, but it requires a lot of other things to go right in both this division and other divisions.
Yeah,
and it's sort of a lot to ask.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't play for it too much.
Right. Yeah, it's like I'd have to win, and I'd have to win by like 3 touchdowns, and then I'd have to and then there's like 3-way tie that can happen for second. I don't know.
Yeah. It would be a thing.
Yeah, I would like to win just for like posterity of having a better record than last season. I think I already do have that, but was really hoping to get back to 7 wins this season. That's not going to happen. 6 wins would be great.
Yeah, you can get there, and it makes it really clear you should go to Div 3. I think that. I assume you're not rerolling.
No, yeah, not planning to.
Unless you take like absurd damage in this match.
Yeah, never say never. But yeah, I've kind of gotten into a better groove with them this season than I was last season. Last season was a lot of losses. This season, a lot of ties. Maybe next season I can get some wins going. But yeah. For me, it's not really. Well, yeah, I guess Pimp Up's saying for both of us, it's probably not that much different from any other match. We're trying to win and get a lot of SPP, and because certainly for them, they want some cash. The best way to get that is through a win. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they're not planning to keep the team, they're then it's just going to be different. They're going to be pretty wacky about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I were you, the only way I'd adjust this, I would try to get the Yeti as many good hits as possible.
Oh God.
Because if you could get a Kaz on him, that would be real nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, he's on 2 of 6.
Right, but someday you'd like him to get a level, right?
At this point, I'm just waiting for the MVP because he doesn't want to hurt people. He's made that
well, you
clear.
you want 2 levels, right? You're gonna get block, then you're gonna get mighty blow.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's nobody else that's really that close on.
That's
because both berserkers just leveled. So what else am I taking hits with?
Yeah, the only thing that's close is Board Brander is at 59 to 16. That's not something you're like happy about.
Oh my god!
Actually, maybe you take that vanity pass and kick. Like we were talking
that
about.
Kick. Oh my gosh! No, maybe, but I don't know.
Think about it before your match.
yeah. I'll set up my note cards like Troxberg has taught us all. But yeah. This will be on Sunday afternoon, and yeah, it should be fun. I went up against their last team and with my last team, so that was Underworld versus Kemery. So this will feel like a bit more of a fairer fight. So I'm looking forward to the rematch. All right, so yeah, we've talked about this one. We're on to Mean Green and Thick versus Goatwork Orange.
Yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah.
Can Gojira crush Troxbird's dreams the same way he did yours?
Yeah, right. I would put money on it. I think Chaos is better against orcs than Norse is. Yeah.
So I think that is the thing Troxbirds has going for him. But I think Gojira will make a very good run at it.
Yeah, I think and I do think. I mean. Let's see. They have more guard. They have a lot of guard. And, I mean, you're right in that Chaos doesn't have a lot of frenzy that's going to make it tough to, do the big orc cage thing.
Yeah, good luck in your game Pip Up.
Oh, yeah. Good luck.
And David Leclerc.
Yeah, David and Pip Up. Have fun. But yeah, I think Hess Knight is a very important piece for this match, and it would be interesting to see if Troxberg's almost like protects him a little bit, or like uses him to target specific pieces.
Yeah, I
don't know what those are necessarily. It's kind of the thing. None of these orcs like super stand out, and you don't want to be hitting like one of the stand firm guys. And I mean, I guess if you get a shot on Guali,
if you get a shot on Guali, you take it. If you can get a shot on Furious Fred, you take it because he's busted in every direction. And other than that, it's like the black orcs are what's really nice to get off the field with a Chaos Warrior.
Yeah.
Because if you can get those off the field, then like the orcs start to crumble.
Yeah, that's true. That's what I was, kind of tried to do with my Yeti a little bit in my match. It's just, it's really satisfying to get, you get 2 of them removed instead of a whole different looking team.
Yeah. I'm curious what Creamsicle will get. If you were to pick it for this match, you would pick Claw.
Yeah.
Maybe Stand Firm. But Claw is probably the best for this match. At the same time with the piece, maybe did you want Tackle? In terms of long-term what that piece is. So I'll be curious to see what that is.
Yeah, for sure.
G-Cool, I don't think Gojira should decide based upon this matchup. He should pick what he thinks that piece should do.
Yeah, it's not got... Yeah, there's nothing riding on this game other than the health of his team, so... what does he want to develop that Blitzer, which I think we made suggestions on earlier, so Frenzy would be fun. I think we're both in favor of that. But there's a lot of good options.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So this one will be on Sunday too. So a lot of games will be.
And I think that time might be not quite right.
Right. Yeah,
they were still talking about it in the chat. I want to watch this one, but
yeah,
gonna have keep your eyes open for when this actually gets played.
I think they were saying 5 Eastern, maybe.
Okay.
I think it's 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific.
Okay.
But obviously Troxbergs will be streaming it, barring.
They'll both be streaming it, I assume.
Oh yeah. Okay, hey, there's Troxbergs, 5 p.m. Eastern. There it is.
All right, so that time is wrong. It's 5 p.m.
Cool. So good luck, Troxbergs, and yeah, hope see if you can crack the enigma that are these orcs. Because if they get to 10 ties,
That'd be wild.
That's so wild.
Well, they can't get to 10 ties, but they can get to 9 ties.
Wait, that's what I get for looking at this in a very small screen. Yeah, that would be wild if they got
9 ties is still a lot of ties.
Yeah, 10 ties would be wild though.
Yes,
just some
even wilder.
Hacks. Yeah, hacks. Oh, just rolled up. Oh, okay. Is there anything we want to repeat?
What we say is we're curious to see what you put on Creamsicle.
Oh yeah.
I was saying for this match, you want Claw, long term, like my equivalent Nurgle Warrior. I put Stand Firm on. There would be an argument for tackle because you just do not have enough tackle for playoffs or Challengers Cup. Mm-hmm. So I assume it would be one of those three. And it's going to be to some extent a relative weighting of how much do you value winning this versus how much do you value like what the team looks like long term.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming it was a normal. If it was,
Gojira
something
just
else
showed up too.
If it's a double, you probably do take dodge because dodge is cool on them. I would think the only setup you would worry about is strength up, and I assume if it's a strength up, you just like click that immediately. You don't like leave that hanging.
Yeah. I think if we had followed our regular time, we would have been ended already. But each week we're just like we add like 5 or 10 minutes somehow.
Yeah.
They both were coming on to watch from the beginning. I mean, we can.
We got one match. I said we got one match left. So we can be done with this soon.
Yeah. And yeah, it was a normal roll. So, yeah. Oh,
Jekyll's a double. Okay, well, that's just dodge then. I don't see why you would worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
It's blodge firm with guard. It's like that. It's like whoops, that piece is done. Cool.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Yeah, and because you can like, that's what I love about teams with 4 blitzers is you can make these cool utility pieces.
You don't give them dive tackle. You give them dodge.
Diving tackle is really cool, but
diving tackle is cool, and it would be a very inconvenient piece. I would still give him dodge.
Yeah, it makes that piece like, okay, we're not gonna mess with that, so let's go after something else. As far as like people looking for blitz targets and stuff. As far as I missed this from Troxford. As far as Gojira is concerned, I rolled a strength plus. Yes, that would have been cool too. All right, yeah, let's get to our last match. Wrap this up so people can watch from the beginning, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the match. We've been looking at this match for weeks and weeks, and here it is.
Yeah, we've been talking about that. We're like, it's gonna be the top 2 teams playing each other. It's still 2 very highly ranked teams playing each other with like huge implications.
Yes.
For where people end up.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, as we saw, still shots for both of them to make it into Challengers Cup. Just a lot more murkier. But yeah, this one's Friday. We had the match we just talked about before that on Sunday, so we should have like most of the playoff scenario completely solved by Sunday night.
And in terms of this match, I think the plan is we will find some way to get coverage of this match, like a stream of this match. That it's like we've seen interest from Pimp Imp. You and I are both talking about it. Like I think we'll get 2 or 3 of us on this, which also means that like if this gets rescheduled, please let us know.
Yeah, that's
because like I'm like carving out time Friday at 9:30 to do this.
Yeah, same.
Like I'm not doing my match Friday. I'm doing it Monday, partly so that I can stream this.
Yeah. See you, good cheer. 6:30 tomorrow. I don't know. Oh, 6:30 Pacific. You're saying my board games from today are then now.
Well, yeah. I will stream this match by myself if that's what it comes to. You're welcome to join me, Spaceline.
Yeah. I think I will be shooting for that.
And maybe we get Struxbirds. So yeah,
that'd be cool.
We will figure out a way to, because everyone cares about this match and neither of these guys stream.
Yeah.
So we will figure out. There will be people streaming this come the match time. But let's talk about the actual match.
Oh, sure. getting so much cross chatter. I'm like, yeah, let's just hang out for a bit. I need to get another beer.
So yeah, this is a tough one, right? Like these are two very good teams that are in good shape.
Yeah.
The Skaven team was killing it even before he got he actually was killing it more than before he had the natural one turner.
Yeah.
That
really messed things up.
He's getting 400 in inducements. That's gonna be a wizard and some stuff.
That's wild. Yeah, that's really wild. Yeah, wizard and some stuff. Maybe a bribe. Though, I mean, these elves have been hard to put on the ground and stomp on. Oh, yeah.
Right. There was the point that Grumgully the Generous used to be Kiki Jiki. And that's why there's quite so much in inducements coming his way. Is he used to have that incredible piece. He still has two really great gutter runners. One gutter runner that's really nice.
Oh, I love it. Sticking with what's got him here.
3 Linos and 2 bribes. Okay. If he actually does it, that'd be fun.
This will be so much fun to watch.
But yeah, I'm serious if he does, because Storm Vermin are still great. He's got a kicker, that's cool. And then Sterling Hornets, what a nice team.
Yeah. Yeah. And they've been I will say, like, they started out extremely hardy for most of the season and then have taken some nicks.
Yeah.
But have still like stayed very competitive and haven't gotten into the pro elf spiral or any sort of spiral really, with their team falling apart. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about that. Like both of these teams, we've talked about like their play styles quite a bit. Yeah, Tim's getting 3 Linos and 2 bribes, so it's coming from there. Sterling Hornets like to scrum it up.
If you want to do that, do you not consider getting a Journey player lineman as one of your mercs rather than like as many bribes and linemen? That Dirty player is a really nice skill.
Yeah. Are you spending some of that cash in this match? Is the question.
You would consider it if it like gets you something you think you might use. Like I wouldn't mind seeing like 20, 30, 40 of it.
Yep.
Get spent.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
Just sort of like round up to the nearest thing.
Yeah.
These are 2 agility teams that bash it out.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
They both have 2 strength ups.
Yeah, but the strength ups that the Skaven have are a little more potent, I'd say.
Those are scary pieces.
Yeah. But
Goblin War Chief really more than Pile Driver in this match.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Sterling Hornets has definitely got good use out of his 2 strength ups for sure.
Yeah.
But it's more tactical, I feel like, than.
And he's got 3 guard, and it's the only guard on the field.
Oh, wow, that's something I missed.
And he's got like more block or wrestle. So
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, this is a really interesting match.
Yeah.
If Sterling Hornets can win it, then he's guaranteed at least 3rd place, and he's I think probably got enough points at that point because he's already 3rd place. He should be able to make it to the Challenger Cup.
Yeah.
Tim Nielsen, if he can win, it's more iffy, but it's still very possible.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, just like you said, because they're already in 3rd place, them getting a win is, the best anybody else can do in 3rd. That's in 3rd place in those other divisions, and you got to figure somebody's going to stumble. And TD differential being what it is, Sterling Hornets, both of these teams actually are in good spots for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously, I think we're saying, or have said, this is the match of the week. But a lot of fun matches this week, and we're looking forward to talking about it all at the year-end party cap.
Yeah, which you'll hopefully join us for and all that, as we have said. As you finish your matches up, that's a good opportunity to go ahead and do the survey, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. If you can make it, it's great to do it. If you can't make it, we'd still love to hear. Even if you can't make it, we'd still love to hear from you in the survey. We'll talk about what you say and incorporate in what we're talking about.
Yeah, definitely. So we're definitely excited about that. Looking forward to having you all join us. Tell us all the things we're mispronouncing, and what you would have called your year-end recap if you don't like the name Party Cap. But here we are, and here it is. So, anything else we want to close with?
Nope.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being attentive audience this week. New record for length and time, but we'll let you all get to it. Good luck in your matches, and have a good night.
Night.
Goblins.